Another point, many of these students want to talk about their personal life. They want to talk about their personal issues. Please don't entertain that, because we don't know the level of their personal issues, and we don't know the mental states. We're already into third to fourth week of lockdown. So there are some students who are not even talking to their parents. Their parents are in a separate room. They are in a separate room. So the moment you start talking personal, not only the person is going to take away the entire lecture, but you may get some reactions which you cannot control. Which actually brings me to a very important point. I'm sorry to bring it to your notice, but it is very important. If you see a behavior where a student is snapping you out, you see the facial expressions not being very good, the response type is inadequate, however, it shows lots of irritation, please contact 100. There have been enough and more cases where people have tried to harm themselves. See, not everybody is equipped to go through this grind. So, hence, it is not a good idea to address personal issues. Yes, all of us have helped students personally when it came to real world, because they were right in front of us. We knew, we could look at their body language, we knew their backgrounds, we knew what their mental states are. Here we don't. And again, we will never be able to solve their problems. A, for lack of time. B, lack of understanding. And three, of course, we don't want to get into this. So please understand that no personal things can be or should be entertained in the class. Yes, a bit of personal details. What did you have for your lunch, dinner? Did you learn something else? Is fine. This is fine. But the moment somebody says, ma'am, sir, I have a problem, blah, 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 stop them there. A very easy way, an effective way to do that is tell them, listen, go through this lecture, go through other lectures. Your problems may not be solved, but you'll learn something more and you'll be in a better position to take care of your problems. We have done that to a couple of students. I don't know how it has worked because we've not been able to meet them personally, but till now they are attending the session. So I'm assuming that at least this response has partially worked, that you concentrate on studies, you concentrate on the session, look at all the friends, look at me, and things should be better. I know, not the best solution, but this is the best solution in the present circumstances. Second, do not entertain bandwidth issues. Students are going to come back to you and say, ma'am, bandwidth is not there. I can't switch on my video. I'm up and down. Don't. Because all of you would have noticed that since last 3 to 4 weeks, yes, the bandwidth has been patchy at times, but it is never, we have never been without internet. So yes, for a minute or two, they may freeze, things will, but they'll come back. But the moment you entertain a bandwidth issue, there'll be plethora of issues. Everybody will have a bandwidth issue. And bandwidth will come back in like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Personally, I've not seen it fluctuate more than 4 minutes, this thing. However, the students will be gone for it. And they'll very nicely keep on sending you messages. Sorry, ma'am, net's still not up, still not down. I'll tell you what we have done. And initially, well, there were many stakeholders who thought that we were being very strict, but it worked. So in first 3 or 4 sessions, we got 50% of the students complaining about bandwidth. We started barring those students from the session and marking them absent. In fact, after third day, we said that if they have this bandwidth issue, they won't be allowed for the final assessment. In our case, final assessment is industry interview and some assessments, this thing. The very next day, the bandwidth issue fell less than 1%. Yeah, I mean, 0.2 per, if I say out of 500 students, 1 or 2 students complained about that. Beyond that, we've also put in a bandwidth protocol that, okay, if your bandwidth is going down for a moment, switch off your video, then switch on after 30 seconds. If it's completely down, restart your device. because restarting takes good 3 to 4 minutes and then bandwidth are low. However, we have not given them option that bandwidth is gone, so I cannot join the lecture. And this has led to improvement of attendance as well as concentration in the lecture. So that is very critical. I mean, we being us, and I mean, mamas and papas in us, okay, beta, don't do that, don't do this, nothing doing. There's no bandwidth problem. There are 2 or 3 things which, I mean, government has promised us and they have been good till now. One is water, electricity, and internet is a part of the essentials. So if it goes down, it will be a big ruckus. So no, bandwidth is not going down. Again, keep your statements very short, as short as, no, I'm not asking you to cut your problem into half, but keep it as short as possible. And keep on asking random students about have they understood or not. You'll need to do it aggressively for first few lectures, then people will come back to it. See, the problem with our students, in fact, even us, was that we are shy of asking questions. Especially because people laugh at us, creating fool of ourselves in front of the public. And here, the audio is so clear that I don't even have an excuse that, oh, maybe I was not so loud, so the people or backbenchers have not heard me, or ma'am has not heard me. So keep the statement short and clear. So by doing that, A, the understanding increases, and B, even they get into the habit of having short and clear sentences. Next point, the language of communication, try to keep it English as much as possible. Because I understand many of our students have problem with the English language, but the advantage of sticking to English language, it's less ambiguous. And also, if they speak to you in English, you'll understand what is the level you need to come to make the lecture understandable to the bulk of the audience. See, there'll always be a bell curve. There'll be people who'll understand you no matter what you say. There'll be people who won't understand you no matter how easy you make it. But the bulk, 70 to 80% will be the one who'll understand you better if you make it more palatable. So by making short sentences, short and clear sentences, you actually are encouraging them to do that. By asking them queries, you are encouraging them to kind of do things properly. Another part, and I think that will be the last thing, I'll rather take your questions after that, is that always end your lecture on a positive note. Here's the time for us to steal from Bollywood and Hollywood thrillers. That whenever you end a lecture, leave them with a query. It need not be a study-based query. It can be an interesting GK question, as simple as that, okay, what is the present fashion borrowing itself from? I mean, Akshay Kumar wears a particular type of jacket. Where is he getting his reference from? Is he getting it from Marlon Brando or Al Pacino? I mean, I'm just giving an example. You have to change the example depending upon the audience, because the audience may understand Marlon Brando or may understand Amitabh Bachchan or Ranbir Kapoor. I'm just giving an example. But keep this query simple enough for the younger generation to relate to. If you do that, and something which is not easily Googleable, have in few lectures, have a kind of a contest attached to it. It's quite okay to even give them some numbers to do that. It doesn't hurt. I've seen people come back. In fact, I've seen few teachers for whom students actually inquire, is ma'am coming in tomorrow on time? I hope the lecture is happening on time. So things like that are going to make life much better for them. I'm going to ignore all the technical guidance because we've documented all that in the document. I wanted to tell you guys about things which are not documented there and some practical tips and tricks about it. So the whole idea is that if you're able to teach them in an engaging manner with discipline, we should be able to do it effectively. I'll give you our personal this. So we have a diploma course in BFSI. Our general completion rate in real world with real world lectures, around 60% students complete the diploma, and out of which around 40 to 50% are ready for employment. In the last course that got over last week, we have a 95 completion rate, out of which 85 people are in for the program. They did it fine. So that was the personal experience that I wanted to share with you and people.